What should you do when you are confronted with negativity? What's happening? I am Erik J. Olson. Negativity comes in lots of different forms and from a lot of different places. And what I'm really talking about here is in the workplace and really from inside of your company. So I'm not talking about clients. I'm not talking about the economy. I'm not talking about competitors. I'm talking about your team when there is negativity. Now, I'm also not talking about when someone feels down or they're not sure or they question. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is when there's persistent negativity coming from an individual or from a group of people. What should you do about it? Now this is something that I've definitely struggled with in the past. Because on the one hand, you feel loyalty, possibly, but that's usually the case. You feel loyalty to your employees. And so even though they may be behaving, frankly, in a way that you do not like, that you do not endorse or espouse, you still feel some sort of, I mean, you definitely feel loyalty. They're your team. You've invested in them. You've gotten to know them. So, the first thing you need to do is confront it immediately. And and if you let it go on for too long, then confronting it becomes more difficult because, well, that's just the way Bob is, as an example, right? You just kind of, that guy's just kind of a jerk, whatever. But that's condoning it. And what you shouldn't do, and again, I've made this mistake many times. What you shouldn't do is just wave it off. You should confront it right away. So if someone says something snarky, negative, whatever, especially to you as the leader of your department, your company, it's it's imperative that you address it directly. Now, sometimes you can do this, or it may make sense to do it publicly in an open forum. Other times, and probably best, you should do it privately. So there was a particular time that I can think of where someone said something a little bit snarky to me in response to a suggestion that I made in our conference room, and there was maybe 5 people in there. And I kind of looked around, and everyone else picked up on it. I said, "All right," and I didn't address it right then. We just went on with the meeting, and then when the meeting broke up, everybody went to their offices. I went and I talked to the person about it, and I said, "Hey, man, what was that about? What? What do you mean? That comment? Like, I don't understand. Like, where did that come from?" And then something came out. They were pissed off about something else, and they were just kind of reacting to that particular thing in the moment. So, step one, address it right away. Step two, I would say, make a decision if it continues to happen, if it's persistent. Make a decision on your course of action. What are you going to do? So, you have lots of options at your disposal. So, certainly, an option that I would not consider is do nothing. That's not a great decision. So, you could write them up. What do you mean? I can write them up for having a bad attitude? Yeah, absolutely. They're bringing the whole team down. Right? You have a culture. Your culture should probably have something in there, core values that say basically we're optimistic, we have passion, we're transparent, all the things that you want out of your employees. And if you're seeing that they exhibit behavior that is inconsistent with the core value, that's a massive problem. You should address that in writing. Is it too harsh to do it in writing? At first, yes, but give them a warning and then follow your disciplinary action. Put it in writing. And no one likes to write anybody up. No one wants to get written up. But when you write someone up, it is a very clear signal that you're done screwing around. This is serious. And if they continue, there will be more disciplinary action. So number one, you can write them up. Number two, you can basically demote them, right? Number three, you can put them in a box, right? So you could put them in a corner of the organization where they do their job and only their job, and their influence is minimized. That's another option. Or option four is, if I think I'm on four, is terminate, right? So what's the best thing you could do? I don't know. I really don't know. I've tried lots of different things in the past, and I have terminated in the past. And it's certainly a viable option because if you are dealing with a negative person, then they are a cancer to your organization and they will infest the rest of your team with their negativity. Right? Now, again, I'm not talking about like having a bad day. I'm not talking about like, one isolated incident. I'm talking about persistent issues with a person, just a persistent bad attitude, or just constantly pushing back on your vision of how you're going to execute and run your company. So those are a couple of options. I'm really interested to know how you've dealt with it because, as I've said in this episode, I don't have the answer, right? I've tried different things. I'm giving you some options. What have you tried? So email me, Erik, E-R-I-K, Erik at thisisarray.com. If you're watching this on social media, post a comment, DM me, Twitter me, Instagram me, anything you want me, you can find me. I am highly discoverable on the interwebs. Hit me up, yo.
Hey there, it's Erik J. Olson. I wanted to let you know about my book, $1 Million Journey, How to Launch a Seven-Figure Business. This is the story of what it took for me to go from freelancer with no clients, no employees, no revenue, to growing a $1 million business. It took me 8 years, and I made a lot of mistakes. And all of those mistakes, and more importantly, lessons learned, are in this book. And we have chapter takeaways, 5 to 15 takeaways that you can apply right now to your business. Check it out on Amazon, $1 Million Journey by me, Erik J. Olson.